Welcome back, scrub lords and scrub ladies.
Was that you casting vicious mockery?
Oh my god. Guys, roll show the title. Show the title.
Oh, there it is. Welcome to I Cast Vicious Mockery.
This is Austin.
This is Matt. And today we're going to talk about some things. Where do you want to start?
I want to start off. Let's start nice and easy.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the words dungeon master in other languages.
Okay, yeah.
And what it means. So I was just curious.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up on Google Translate, no further research, what people say instead of dungeon master in other languages. And we've got some examples here, like French is
Maître du donjon.
That.
Yeah.
Right? That's how Google says it, at least.
It's right from the nose.
Right. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
And that, you know what that means? That translates to master of dungeon. So yeah, the dungeon master. Russian was a fun one.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
What, master podземелья?
Master подземелья.
Yeah, like that.
Oh yeah.
Podземелья. Yeah. Which that basically means master of dungeon. As far as I can tell, in Japanese, that's an easy one. Dungeon master.
Dungeon
master.
Oh, dungeon master. Yeah, we understand that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then I found that there were definitely some languages where it was not just dungeon master. For instance, let me see if I can get it real quick. I got to get all the way to Norwegian here because that one was a good one. It definitely keeps it's still dungeon master. It's just weird to me because it uses such a Norwegian word for it, for dungeon.
Fangehulsmester.
Fangehuls. That sounds like, I mean, when you think about it, it sounds like it could be dungeon, right?
Yeah.
Like huls sounds like, I mean, just based on my knowledge of those languages, which is limited, it sounds like an interior place, like a cavernous type deal. That's what the sound evokes to me. But
I can see that.
Yeah. But it just sounds entirely different. And then we've got Hawaiian as well. And look, Hawaiian, like they don't have like the ability. You can't play back audio on Hawaiian in Google Translate. All right, so I'm just gonna have to read this to you, and I have to read it slow because my Hawaiian pronunciation is not good. So, hakuhale pa ahao. Whew. That does not sound like Dungeon Master.
You don't think so?
I mean, maybe.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that there are no dungeons in Hawaii. You know, like they don't have, like, it would make sense that they don't have a word for it necessarily.
Well, I'm sure that it is kind of literally translating Dungeon Master.
Right. Exactly.
But to me, that means maybe nobody plays D&D in Hawaiian, which probably not, right? Like,
yeah,
most people in Hawaii speak English a lot of the time. Right.
Yeah.
Or they speak like pidgin or stuff like that. Like,
right.
Part Hawaiian, part English. Most people aren't going to play an entire game of D&D in Hawaiian. So you never have to call, instead of the DM, I guess the HP. I don't know what the letters are actually called in Hawaiian because like that was superimposed upon the language later. That's fascinating on its own.
Well,
but
linguistics podcast.
Oh
man,
we fooled you.
It's a linguistics podcast.
It's a linguistics. Boo, boo, boo. That's right, guys. We just hit 1 million linguistics podcasts.
No, this is still a D&D podcast, but it makes sense to me though that like you said, I don't know when the Hawaiian language would have been, unfortunately basically overtaken. You know, like, because you have to think that they probably didn't really have the opportunity to create new words in Hawaiian at a certain point, because their culture was, sort of overtaken by America, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
and it was kind of like both. Well, was it even America? It was Cook. It might have been a British deal.
Yeah,
but like British
Britain.
American
Yeah,
type.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like the West.
We know what happened.
Yeah, we know what happened.
I've been there. You've been there. It's all right.
Yeah, right, exactly. But so, well, I really don't know when that was, but it was probably long enough ago that D&D didn't exist.
That's a good point. It was. I would say it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, yeah, or in the form that we know it right.
Well, what about Norwegian then?
Norwegian.
What I'm thinking is, if people played D&D in Norway, they would probably say something that sounds like Dungeon Master. Unless, well, so a lot of Norwegian people speak English too.
Yeah, a lot of European.
Yeah,
countries do that.
Because I think you learn English in school in Norway. And it's like pretty normal to speak fluent English. But like what if just nobody plays D&D and that's why it's translated that way? Like it's just a literal translation, whereas the other ones, they have translated it in the rule book, and I just thought of this. So I don't know, I didn't look it up. All our Norwegian fans out there, let us know if you like D&D.
Yeah.
That's a tautological statement right there, because if there are Norwegian fans, then yes. And if not, then they won't answer.
Well, exactly. So then we'll never know. The only thing that I really know about D&D's influence on other cultures is the way that D&D influenced the first RPG video games.
Right.
And how that spread from the US to Japan.
And then back to the US.
And then
back to Japan.
Right.
It keeps going back and forth.
They influence.
It's like a game of Pong.
Oh.
Which kind of, I mean, maybe that was foreshadowing.
Maybe
like whoever at the Magnavox team was like, hey guys, listen, I can see into the future. I'm going to make something amazing. You'll never believe it. And everyone was like, whoa, this is super cool. It's like really fun to play with these things. And he's like, no, you don't get it. The prophecy, you don't get it.
Yeah, he's walking around in the wilderness and everybody else is still in the cave staring at the shadows. That was a deep cut.
Yeah.
Philosophy reference.
Yeah.
Allegory.
Dude, any philosophy majors out there?
Allegory of the cave, anybody?
Oh.
Anyway.
Off to a solid start today, guys.
I think so. I did some research on LARPing.
I'm ready for it. Hit me up with that LARP
research. Just the most minimal research.
All right.
I can't even call it research.
That's what I like to hear.
I looked up a website. I found a website. It was based in the UK, so this isn't even United States rules at all. From what I understand, I'm not sure, but from what I understand, you pick a class.
Okay.
You can pick a race as well, but I think the race is more aesthetic. I don't think it gives you any bonuses.
Like you're only allowed to wear pointy ear prosthetics if you picked an elf.
Right. Like you cosplay and it's like, oh, that's an elf.
Right.
They might have, and again, this is probably different depending on where you go and how you do it, but you pick a race and then you pick a class. Maybe race has like a little bit to do with it, but you pick a class, and there's some sort of stats involved with it. But it seems kind of complicated, actually. Really, there must be some kind of leveling system.
Yeah.
So when you start out, but there's only like from what I could tell, there was only like 3 to 5 levels that you could even achieve. So it it's you have to do a lot, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah.
It seemed currency based too.
Ooh, currency based. So it's like gambling.
No.
Oh.
Well, there's like an in-game
It's
currency.
Oh.
It's not really I don't. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Hmm.
I read documents. I didn't watch anything happen. I feel like it would make more sense if I watched it happen. But
Yeah.
So from what I got, spellcasters. This was one of my questions before. You get spell cards, and when you cast a spell, you rip the spell card in half to cast the spell, and then that's gone. That's like a spell slot, right?
Right.
And they have ranges and stuff like that, like 20 feet, touch, just how you would expect. I just don't understand how they're useful, because I was reading what some of them do, and some of them do really, really specific things.
Ooh, specific things. Yeah, I like to hear about this. Okay.
And I just don't, I really just don't understand when they would be useful.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand the action economy of it either. Like,
right.
You can just do it whenever, or so like one of them was a spell that you could cast it on somebody, and it sinks them into the ground up to their knees, which you role play by kneeling down on the ground, right? For I think a certain amount of time. I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's real time too.
Right.
Is what I imagine. Like you set a timer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, like, does the action stop, or there's a referee, I found out.
Oh, okay.
Or possibly multiple referees. Does the referee keep track of that? I don't know. But then there are certain ways that they can get out of it. So there's like a skill, I guess. Strength is like a skill. So like if you're like a warrior class, then you could have strength as your skill, right? And if you have, there aren't any levels of it though. It's just you have strength. That's one of your skills.
And it lets you like do strong stuff.
Yes, exactly. You can also get double strength at higher levels. There are also spells that you can give somebody strength or double strength.
So the spell might have a thing like, if someone has strength, it can nullify this spell by this method.
And vice versa. So yeah, one of the spells was weakness, where you like cast it on somebody and it's like they have to move half speed and they can't take actions, like they can't swing a sword or whatever. And it can be cured if somebody casts strength on you, or double strength. And like where you sink to your knees, if somebody casts double strength on you, you can get your feet out of the ground.
If they only cast single, can you get 1 foot out?
I don't remember. I think, but I know that single strength wasn't enough to get out for that particular spell.
That's so weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's. I'm still having trouble imagining something like that being fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, maybe it is, and if it is for you, that's great.
You're messed up, dude. What?
Okay, all right.
What?
What's messed up?
Oh, no, I was just thinking about something earlier. No, it's fine.
Oh, there's something else messed up?
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah, if you like LARP, I don't know about you. Am I allowed to say something? Can I be mean like that? I'm not actually being mean. I don't.
I think the phrase "I don't know about you" is the most passive.
Isn't it?
It's like the most passively mean thing you could say.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean anything. So
no, it doesn't. I don't know about it. Maybe I don't know how wonderful you are, but probably it's bad.
I take that as you don't know.
I don't know if I know or not.
I don't. I can't. You know what? I can't even say I don't know anybody who's LARPed. I don't, because I don't know. I probably do know people who've LARPed.
I definitely do. We're gonna put a link to in the show notes, which is the description right now, of We got to put the lightning bolt video in the show notes. That's our reference for LARPing.
Oh yeah, lightning bolt. Yeah. No, I know.
Classic.
Yeah, it's just I still don't understand. Further research needs to be done, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try it.
Yeah, that's
We're gonna
fine
have to
with
give
me.
it a shot.
I definitely try it.
Yeah,
I definitely would try it for sure.
I will. I already kind of feel like I don't have time to devote to it, but I would like to give it a try, or at least watch somebody who watch someone who likes it and knows about it talk about it. We'll do real research.
There you go. Yeah,
We're not going to do real research.
We're
not ever going to do real. That's not what we do here.
No, research isn't on the table.
No,
absolutely not.
We might do some research under the table.
Yes, but
if
never
you catch
on
my
it.
drift.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's
which
free.
Brings me to my next thought.
Okay. Yeah.
Designing a game world.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought of this because of Under the Table.
Sure.
John Wick.
Uh-huh.
So the whole under the table system of everybody being in this criminal underworld thing, that could be fun in a D&D world.
That really could be.
That could be really fun.
That could be, yeah.
Now, here's what I really wanted to say, though.
Okay.
Anything that differs from the real world, is a game mechanic. Okay?
Absolutely.
I think we can agree with that. I don't I'm trying to come up with exceptions, right? But and I'm talking everything. So
things that do exist in the real world are game mechanics.
Well,
too,
yes,
in some ways.
I think that they have to be thought of as being game mechanics if you change something from the real. Like for instance, the setting that you've created, is a lot like the real world, and maybe some of it is, but not a feudalistic place.
No, not fully.
Right. There is probably some of that, but it feels like when we walk into a city, it feels like walking into a modern city in times without modern technology, basically.
Right.
Modern city, no modern tech.
Yeah. Well, because I created a high magic world. So they solve the same kind of modern problems that we solve nowadays with magic.
It's like Magic Punk.
Yeah. Well, that's my that's my style.
What's another? There's got to be. We could have to find a name for it because cyberpunk it's not saying
Arcane Punk.
Arcane Punk can work for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fine to me. Actually,
title.
Arcane Punk. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
No, not quite.
But we're getting there. But
SpellPunk.
SpellPunk is very close.
That's better.
Yeah. So anyway,
yeah.
I'm gonna put this in my notes as inventing SpellPunk, but when you differ from how people expect things to just work normally, you have to make it differ in a way that the players will like, even if it's not beneficial to them, even if it's not necessarily a fun difference. It has to provide that satisfactory gameplay. Like if you did go full feudalistic setup for the entire world, you would have to make sure that it's in a way where the players' characters can use that to their advantage somehow, and the players would have to know that they could use that to their advantage somehow, and that they're not stuck being a serf of a vassal of a liege lord or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like
or just a peasant.
Right. I just think it's for the convenience of the player. Like that you don't want them playing too many games at the same time. Yeah. Because then it's hard to keep it all sorted. Yeah. So like if you have them playing a feudal system and playing with a quest system and playing with, I don't know, like I guess that's still part of a feudal system. I was going to say having, minions or whatever. That's a thing that people, not the yellow guys, but maybe the yellow guys. We got to talk about that next.
Bananas?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now,
No, okay.
No. So
Yeah.
like having too many systems going on at the same time, that's too much.
Yeah.
So and like you've already got whatever things are built into D&D. So the rest of the stuff you want to try to keep it as similar to real life as possible. So that way it's very natural and it works very easily. And then anything that you change from real life should be in a good way that is enjoyable to your particular party. Some people are crazy and they want it to be brutal and punishing. So maybe there is an airborne disease. It could be like a zombie thing, right? Like it could be an airborne thing. Everybody's infected. And if you die, you become a zombie. That could be part of the game. That differs from the real world. But anyway, we'll talk about that later because now we got to talk. What characters should be in D&D that aren't yet? Because we got some news. This is breaking news.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
This is breaking news. Nobody's heard about this before. We are first. We heard about it from some other news sources, but we're first. Guys, they're making a Power Rangers RPG. Oh my god! It's amazing.
Yeah, with using 5th edition as the system. 5e system. Yeah. Yeah, and I heard rumors too that they're planning on doing the same.
Rumor come out.
The rumor does Bruno Mars is gay. I'll
put that in the show notes too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's an important, we have to answer that question too, I guess. So they're planning on doing this with a couple of other properties too. I can't remember all of them, but I remember seeing My Little Pony, 5th edition RPG, and there were like 2 or 3 other ones. I saw a news article about it recently.
Oh, Transformers is one?
Transformers.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. Yep, that's
the other ones.
Yeah.
So who else? All right, think of a video game character that could fit in the regular D&D setting. Who can we slap in there?
Link.
Does he work?
Legend of Zelda.
Is he too strong? Is he strong enough? Is he too weak?
I think that his character. I think all the characters from, or at least the 3 main ones, Link, Zelda, Ganondorf.
Yeah.
I think that there's an opportunity. I don't think it would be easy, but I think there's an opportunity to create like level scaling for them. You know, because there already is. For Link, at least, you know, you start out, you have the basic equipment, and then like eventually get the Master Sword and better armor,
right?
Heart pieces gets you more health, you know, things like that. And he has a move set. He has skills. There are enemies that are harder than others. There are bosses. I mean, it's got things. I think it could work. Again, I'm not sure that it would be easy to do. I don't know if it would mesh perfectly, but I think you could do it.
Yeah. Like Link is a good option, because he kind of has a sort of general deal to him. Like he's strong, he's got some physical abilities, and then the items are what make him like really amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's cool. People like getting magic items.
Yeah, I mean there you go. It's perfect.
Yeah, I think it works.
How do we get Minecraft Steve into D&D?
Well, they somehow got him into Smash.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah. How do we do this? How do we get Minecraft Steve as a D&D character? No. Okay. So I don't even mean as a player character necessarily. Okay. Like what are some other? I want to think of things from video games who could be in D&D, because Steve from Minecraft, nah, not really.
No.
Right? He's not a character.
I've actually talked a lot about Persona 5. I think that would work out really well.
Yeah, it would. Definitely the setting, it wouldn't mesh with the regular setting in a way that I think Zelda could.
Yeah, that's true.
You could easily be like, oh, and by the way, there's this evil deity that keeps manifesting itself, and there's a young hero who keeps being reincarnated, and then there's the girl she's a goddess, right? I forgot.
Yeah. You don't think so? I mean, it's got a really similar thing. I know it's a modern setting.
Oh my God, you're right though. It is.
But it is
really. Yeah,
it's like the same thing. It's a god who took over this, alternate reality.
Yeah, at least Persona 5.
Yeah, Persona 5. I don't know anything about the other ones.
Me neither.
I've only I didn't even play it. I just watched it, really. But no, because the combat's already turn based.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has their thing.
Yep.
Like they're elemental based. A lot of the elements that they use in Persona 5 are elements that already have rules in 5th edition.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought about running a Persona 5 one shot.
That'd be cool.
Game where everybody got to play a character.
Yeah.
And this probably isn't interesting if you've never played Persona or don't know what Persona is, but it's pretty cool. I think you'd like it.
Pick up a gosh dang PS4.
Yeah.
Buy the game, play it, and then if you don't want this stuff afterward, give it to me.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Exactly. I'll take it. It's really cool. It's a really cool game, and I think it would fit really well, actually.
Yeah, after thinking about it for a second, I think you're right about that one. Combo moves. That's Dragon Ball Z. That's Persona.
Yeah.
And now it's D&D with the Power Rangers, maybe? Let's talk about getting in the Megazord.
Yeah, man. Well, the first thing that I thought of when you brought that up earlier was, what if the player characters got legendary actions when they're in the Megazord?
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it would be, right?
Yeah.
You would get legendary actions. Like on the bad guy's turn, maybe you get to do something.
Yep.
Which means this is possibly a power escalation problem, because player characters already have a huge advantage against monsters in D&D as it is.
Right.
Like the monsters don't stand a chance usually. But so you might have to do some extra power scaling if you gave, but that'd be so cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to do stuff. The tough thing, I think, would be like, can he only move when it's like the leg character's turn to move? Like, like it's one entity. It could be tough, but I think that you could fit in some rules there.
Right.
Like, I think you could do it. I don't know how they will, but
probably just the Red Ranger will be in charge.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like in the Megazord. So,
well,
that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
but it also it looks like, it can't look like anything yet. I think the images chosen for articles about it and stuff were just random stock images.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm guessing it's going to include a lot of Power Ranger stuff, like from the whole whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The whole Power Rangers deal, which is, there's a lot to it.
There's a lot of Power Ranger stuff.
Wow. Combo moves. All right. Now, there's obviously stuff in the game mechanics that you can combo if you've got a smart party, like if you have a character who's got the spell Grease, and they out the grease. I'm sure it makes a great sound and stuff. I'm sure it doesn't smell like the corpse of a cow or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's totally fine. Then somebody uses a fire spell on that. You can get a big fire going pretty quick. Quick. Right? And I was considering doing that actually recently. I was going to do that in the magic shop.
Oh.
I was going to do a grease thing and then shoot it with the flamethrower, but I didn't have to.
You didn't.
Maybe I was going to do that in the in Kaz house.
In Kaz
as well, though. I was going to do both.
You were going to do it. Why were you going to?
I'm just going to go around setting fires because I thought we were going to have to burn down the magic shop if things went bad. Like if it took a turn for the worse, I just thought we might have to burn it down.
In what instant? Okay. Well,
look. I don't know. Look, I just need to have options.
Well, I would have allowed it.
Right.
So I guess that's fine. But I just would have been flabbergasted. What Which I guess is your job, as the players, to try to keep me on my toes.
Right. But so, okay, combo moves, though.
Yeah.
What kind of combo moves can we
Mhm.
come up with? All right. Now, we there's the mechanical stuff, but like, let's say
Mhm.
if we added a new thing to the game and it was combo moves, how would you do them?
Okay, well, the first thing that I thought, the first thing I thought of was using existing rules.
Okay.
Like there are certain class abilities and features and stuff that naturally, as a party, will combine well with each other.
Mm-hmm.
In Paul's campaign, I'm a monk.
Right.
There are 2 rogues.
Mm-hmm.
That works great. I'm always up there punching people right up in their face, sneak attack damage every time.
Right.
With against the creature that I'm punching. Right. That's great. That's a lot of, we can bust out a lot of damage there all at once. But actually crafting combo moves,
mm-hmm.
I think that's a really great idea.
Right.
And I think that it's cool. And as a dungeon master, I'm always trying to put the brakes on things and bust out the rule book.
Right.
That's like my instinct. But I think the first thing that we would want to solve there, again, is action economy.
Yeah, what would it do to the initiative? And I'm thinking, probably you could do it on either person's turn.
Okay.
But it skips the next one, whoever's turn is next.
That's probably better than what I was thinking. I was thinking the opposite.
Oh, like you have to prepare on one person's turn and then do it on the other?
Execute on the other?
That's possible too.
I guess, yeah.
But then it would be too easy for things to avoid it if they saw it coming. Maybe that's okay on some moves. Maybe some combo moves are charge up and shoot, and some moves are shoot and recharge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and yeah, maybe shoot and recharge isn't as strong, but you can do it right away.
Yeah.
And recharge and shoot, or charge and shoot is stronger, but more room to fail.
Right.
Okay.
And so the other thing though is it would I guess if you're going to charge up and then shoot, you would have to find a way to set that up using other people, like maybe grappling something or stuff like that. But you could. I mean, if you have a strong grappler in your party or whatever, it's possible. I mean, I think there's a feat that gives you advantage when you're grappling something that's a larger size than you. Even
I think the grappler feat, I don't have it right in front of me, but off the top of my head, I think that, I'm not sure if it gives you advantage on grapple checks. It might, but it allows you to restrain a target after you've grappled them.
Yeah, there is that. Maybe I'm thinking of something similar to that, but I don't know what it is right now. It doesn't matter either.
Yeah, not too big of a deal.
But right so you set it up though, right? So that might require 3 or 4 party members to be involved, but the other type would only require 2, and that's pretty good. Like what kind of effects could it have though? Could it be stuff like you both cast a single spell together, and then whose spell slots are used? Both spell slots, I would assume.
Yeah, you'd probably do that. The only way to make that worth it is if the damage or the effect is better than the individual spells would have been separately. Yeah. Otherwise, why would you even do it?
Right. Or I guess, that's what it would have to be.
Yeah.
The other thing it could let you do is access spells of a different element than you normally have with you, or something like that. Because we were stuck just recently with no fire spells or acid damage.
Yeah, we couldn't do fire or acid to kill the troll because nobody could do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it could be a thing like that where it's sort of oh shoot, we're in big trouble, but we've got this extra utility to take care of it. But I just thought of that now. So
well, it's a problem.
I came up with it.
Yeah, we probably just ran into, so that makes sense. Luckily, our DM wasn't like, "Well, guess you guys are SOL." He was like, "Here, I'm going to have this other character create a wall of fire." And
right.
Like, oh well, thank you. That was nice.
Yeah.
And
plus with your stun setup, it was good. Like the stun and push combo was fun. I was actually going to push it off the bridge. And then there was a wall of fire, and I was like, well,
yeah, there you go.
I wasn't sure if the fire would kill it, And I was like, that'll probably kill it if I push it off the bridge.
Yeah. Well,
but then I found out why it wasn't dying, and I was like, oh, right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it in the fire then.
And you know what? I did know that, but I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't remember it at the time because, like my character wouldn't have known that.
Right.
And, anyway. Okay, so combo moves. There are some easy ways just using the rules that you could do it too, though.
Yeah.
Like the first thing that I thought of is the help action gives a player advantage.
Yeah.
And if all you wanted was to be able to do cool stuff, then you could narrate anything.
Yeah.
Like you could use the help action in almost any way. Like you could be like, I guess it's technically help is for ability checks,
right?
But you could use it for attack rolls.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could be possible. Or, for instance, you could have your monk punching somebody, but your wizard lights their hands on fire.
Oh yeah,
right. Like, so your monk flies up and then like, boom, flame fist, and it causes
like D4
extra fire damage or something on top of the punching.
D6 or something.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be like them having a weapon, so it wouldn't screw up their damage.
Yeah,
it would just
still
this bonus
strike.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
Yeah.
That does definitely cause problems with action economy, though, doesn't it?
Exactly.
So like that. Yeah. I mean, that's real. That's like if the battle was going to be less than 3 turns to begin with, now it's 1 turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're just done.
But like you said,
of course, you could also just take the fire damage on the monk's hands. Like the monk might get hurt for that one or something.
Yeah,
that's like an option too.
Like a blood hunter type thing where you take damage in order to deal more damage.
Right.
Yeah, that would be an interesting way to balance it out. Like there's always some penalty.
Right. So what you're doing is you're paying a penalty to do either now or later to hopefully do damage now and maybe finish somebody off, which feels good for a combo move.
Yeah,
like being the finishing blow.
Yeah, that would be
that makes sense then.
Yeah, that would be the purpose to it, I think.
Plus, I mean, who doesn't like killing monsters cool ways?
Or some people might prefer to do that as an opening move.
Right.
Like try to take him down as much as possible right away so that he's like,
Yeah.
Because some enemies, rather than fight to the death, will run away.
True.
And that would get them to run away faster.
Yep. It would.
But the other thing, so the penalty can either be damage or it could be extra resources too. Like maybe the wizard has to spend an extra spell slot, or maybe it's a sorcerer and they have to spend a sorcery point to do it or something.
Right. Or it could even create a point of exhaustion on somebody.
Oh yeah, points of exhaustion. I like those.
Yeah. They're not used that much. Like I use them because of my one character who doesn't sleep sometimes.
Yeah. But they'll be more common, I think, soon.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Dude, they suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Although, so my other character who has those coins.
Yeah.
What are they? I forget what they're called.
The
soul coins or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the infernal coin things.
Yeah.
Those have the same effect as exhaustion, just not in combat. It skips the 2nd level exhaustion effect and it has the 1st and 3rd level effects. That's a brilliant way to do stuff too.
Yeah.
Have that sort of
adjust things a little bit. Absolutely. No, I think it's a cool idea. And I think that this conversation, again, I might talk about that with everybody tomorrow. I might be like, hey, you guys want to come up with some combo moves between your characters? Go for it. Reach out to me. Let me know what you're thinking.
Like, I have a good one.
Yeah.
If any of our other characters can use catapult,
yeah,
we get 2 characters to catapult summit.
Oh, like a 3-person combo move?
3-person combo move.
I don't know. I think that okay, so
Catapult only works on something between 1 and 5 pounds, but I figure with 2 people doing it, we can at least do like 250 pounds.
Summit's kind of lithe.
Yeah.
Tall, but, tabaxi, so doesn't weigh that much. I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't read. I haven't read the rules on tabaxi weight recently, but I don't think they weigh that much.
Right.
Yeah, but would that be worth it? I mean, even 2 people casting catapult, would that do? We'd have to have a talk about if that would do enough damage to that's like half the character's turn.
Not even to do damage, but in this case, just to move Summit really far, really fast.
Oh, I see.
And then Summit didn't use her movement for it.
Okay.
And right. So that could be like a bonus action on her turn if she's ahead of, or even if she's behind us in the initiative order, and we just, we use up our turns for it or whatever. Yeah. We could launch her, 90 feet, and she can cover another 90 feet or whatever.
Yeah, if somebody's far away. Yeah. That would work pretty well if somebody's far away.
Yeah, for instance, if somebody's running and they have something we need, we can be like, all right, we only have 1 chance to catch this person. Let's throw the cat.
Yeah, this is cool. This is interesting. This is an interesting thought experiment here. I'm interested to hear what kinds of things the players come up with in terms of combo moves. So
that's one thing I think that's really a tough balance to strike when you're being the DM. Mm-hmm. Is, should you know a lot about your player characters, or should you try not to know a lot about them?
Well,
I think it's easier to make a good, compelling story if you know a lot about the character's story.
Yes.
And it's easier to make good challenges with multiple fun, sort of inventive, ingenious solutions if you know a lot about the character's abilities.
I agree. I've heard both.
Right.
I've heard both. I only watch YouTube channels and listen to people named Matt.
Right.
As a rule.
Mm-hmm.
So the 2 people that always come to mind are Matthew Colville and Matthew Mercer.
Right.
Matthew Colville had a video that I watched where he claimed that it's the player's job to know what their character can do, not yours.
Right.
And you don't have, as the dungeon master, you don't have to know what the player characters can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that up to a point.
Right.
Matthew Mercer obviously knows as much, if not more, about his players' abilities than they do.
Yeah.
Like very clearly, and that allows him to do some really cool stuff, both, character-wise. And I think that most people, but you can have a fun game where the dungeon master doesn't really know anything about your character's backstory too.
Yeah, I think that's true as well.
I think it can be fun either way. The kind of game that I'm running right now really requires me to know as much as I can about both story and abilities of the characters.
Yeah. And it depends on how you want to hook them in, because you could just have events happen.
That's
for story-wise. You could have like things are happening, this is how it goes, and then, because I know this happened in the Can't Wake Up campaign.
Yeah.
I was like,
Paul's campaign. Yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute. Is this a thing for my character's backstory? And Paul was like, oh yeah, I didn't really read that yet.
Yeah.
I'll do stuff with that later. And I was like, whoa.
Oh boy.
This is creepy, man. You're weirding me out a little bit.
You're doing some stuff and I have to read my backstory. I didn't write a backstory on my character sheet. I have one in my head. I never wrote it down at all.
Yeah.
I probably should do that.
Mine's all written down. Not all of it, I guess, because I think I came up with more details afterward, and I added some, but I didn't write all of them, I think.
Mine's not very in depth for Saphed.
Mine has a couple of important scenes. That's what I do when I make a character. They have like a couple of important details.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it can be made up on the spot or whatever. It doesn't matter.
You don't need to know their favorite breakfast.
Yeah, what is his favorite breakfast?
Breakfast in the chat, everybody. It's the time. It's that time of the show.
Yeah, pull out those Cheerios, that orange juice, pour it in there. I've never tried that.
I had what?
Cereal with orange juice in it.
With orange juice in it?
Yeah.
With Cheerios, that really doesn't sound too terrible.
I mean, with Cheerios, you could put what? No, I take it back. I take it back.
I'd try it.
Really, anything, any liquid.
No, not any liquid.
Okay.
No, with orange juice specifically. I'd try it with orange juice.
I was gonna say you could put anything in there.
Oh.
And I was like, no, that's the stupidest thing I could possibly say.
No, not anything.
All right, guys, what in the comments? Can you please tell me what would be the worst liquid to put with Cheerios? You can't be like, oh, it's hydrochloric acid because it would. No, that would melt the Cheerios. Okay, that's like literally what it's for. Give me a liquid that would be bad with Cheerios. Don't be like, oh, it's like pee or something. No, like be a little bit creative, okay? A little bit. Don't just look in the toilet and be like, oh, I found the answer. Come on. If you're gonna do the homework, do it right.
Show your work on my desk by Wednesday. Okay. I had fry cakes and apple cider for breakfast this morning. That was great.
I don't know what that is.
Fry cakes are basically just donuts. I don't know why they don't just call them donuts. It's a fall thing, man.
Huh.
I'm really getting in the season here.
So's Anna.
I know. I
saw the decorations.
I saw the decorations. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like it.
I like the season too. Halloween's.
I don't like fall. To be clear.
Oh.
Fall is the beginning of the end for my hands and feet.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
I don't like winter, but I do like fall.
Yeah. Can I hit you with a character idea?
Please.
All right. So listen.
Okay.
I got a character idea. I stole it. To be clear.
Okay.
But I think I put it in D&D in a way that is fun.
Okay.
All right. So here's my idea. Doesn't have to have a name, but I'm going to call him Evil Dave.
Evil Dave, guy.
Evil Dave. He lives in his mother's basement.
Okay.
His goal
is
to take over the world.
Gotcha.
He is pure evil.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And as far as alignment goes, I guess he's lawful evil. That's where he'd be at.
Okay.
He'd be lawful evil, but actually probably lawful good. Or at least lawful neutral. But he, like, if you asked him his alignment, he'd be like, he'd actually probably say chaotic evil because it sounds more evil.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely lawful.
Mm-hmm.
All right? He does what his mom says.
Yeah.
Or he gets punished.
Right.
But he agrees with that. He thinks that's how life should be. He just also doesn't like it.
Yeah. Life's unfair.
Right. Yeah, life's unfair, and then you die, and whatever, all that stuff. That's how he feels. Yes. All right. So he comes up out of the basement.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna take over the world. That's his deal, right? He is a warlock. He makes a deal to get his powers. His patron is a powerful, like, quasi deity, like wizard. Not evil or anything, but feels a certain bond to him because it's his mother. His mother is his patron. And when he doesn't do what she says, he's grounded. He gets teleported back into the basement and loses his powers.
Oh, man.
You are coming home right now! Mom, no!
David Joseph! What are you doing?
Mom, don't call... I'm Evil Dave.
That's my name. My name is Evil Dave. That's great. That's great. Like so he is raising an undead army.
Right.
To fight the player character, and then suddenly Like,
based on my source material here,
Yeah.
his evil army would start as hell rats.
hell rats?
Hell rats.
Okay, got it. So he's,
Yeah, so I guess they're actually not. It's not an undead army. It's a demon army.
it's
but
yeah.
same kind of deal.
The devil
we
army.
could do
Yeah.
undead. Yeah.
Yeah, devil army. I mean, either way.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the encounter, maybe even the player characters are like close to death. Maybe it's like, purposefully an encounter that's way too hard, and then a booming voice comes from the cloud. Yeah, the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
David Joseph, you're coming back home right now. And he gets teleported away, and they're saved, and they're like, "What was that?"
And he's like, "Ugh,
Mom."
And then he's like, "That's it. I'm gonna burn this house down."
Mom,
you took away my spells?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Why'd you take away my warlock spells? I only have 3 of those.
So that's how I make a character too. By the way, they're really just one idea, because it's easier to. Except for one of my characters is a real person. That's really hard for me to figure out what they would do, because I have to like actually research it while we're playing sometimes even. I have to be like, wait, what would they? But
Yeah.
and I can just make up stuff and it's fine. But I don't know. I feel like it's cooler if I try to do what they would do. But if I just start with one idea and I figure out like this character is like this,
Mm-hmm.
how does it affect everything else? That's easier.
I agree.
Because my other character,
Mm-hmm.
Edward,
Mm-hmm.
Edward Marshall Jr.
Okay.
Was adopted. So, or no, he's not Edward Marshall Jr. Actually, he has a different middle name. I forgot. Same initial, different middle name than his father, his adopted father. But his father is the pastor of a mega church.
Okay.
He is the pastor of a mega church.
Oh.
When he was in seminary, he thought that he was going to meet the God that all of the people, worshipped and stuff. Because they all talked about their experiences meeting him. He got there and he was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to meet Tyr, which is how I think we say it in English.
Yeah.
But Tyr, whatever,
Yeah.
however you want to say it, that God, that's who they all worship.
Mm-hmm.
However, what he found out was it was all a scam, basically, and they knew it. Like they were all like, "Oh yeah, no, we never actually met him." But look, it's so good for all these people. Oh, and by the way, it makes us a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what they, that's just like what they learned how to do in seminary was like scam people.
Yeah.
He's a changeling. I'm just giving it away right now. It was already obvious.
Yeah.
By this point, so he's a changeling who was adopted. He is so perfect for this role as the perfect pastor's son who becomes an even bigger pastor. Right?
Yeah.
Not physically larger, but also physically larger.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's just a little bit taller.
Compensating. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not really. He's a changeling. There's nothing to compensate.
There's nothing to
nothing physically to compensate for.
That's true.
He can be whatever he wants. Very, very much literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he has like from the outside a perfect life. He, like everything seems fine, but he's miserable all the time because of this big, huge lie that was the center of his life.
Mm-hmm.
But in his current setting, things are a little crazy for him.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of he might be going overboard. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him yet. We'll see.
He's doing some weird stuff.
He's doing weird stuff.
I'm telling you that much.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that Saphed is in a similar boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You thought about that a lot. You thought about your character way more than I did.
Well, no, because it was like literally
just
I was like a cleric. I want to play a cleric.
Yeah.
What if he's like an evangelical like pastor person?
And
then it just all clicked.
It all just came together.
Yeah.
I guess you know what though? I guess I did the same thing. Really with Saphed, because Saphed was like think street urchin.
Mm-hmm.
Like she still is basically a child. Like she's really young, And one of her parents, she never knew her parents, but one of her parents was a drow.
I thought you were going to say giraffe.
Yeah, one of her parents was a giraffe.
She is half human, half giraffe, and her intelligence score is like a 6, so she doesn't know.
She has no idea about her giraffe heritage. No, so she doesn't like bright lights, which is why she wears that mask all the time. She doesn't like lights. She prefers the dark. She's only a half drow, so the light, she doesn't have sunlight sensitivity. Like, she doesn't have to, like, she doesn't have to shield herself from the sun. She just prefers it that way.
Right.
But also, she was adopted by a monastery, but the monastery was also, it wasn't a front, it was a government organization. And they trained children from a young age. It's a very classic kind of thing. They like trained from a young age to be skilled at subterfuge.
Oh, like Black Widow.
Yeah,
type deal.
Yeah, like a Black Widow type thing.
Yeah. Or John Wick. I mean.
Yeah. But also, she's a Way of Mercy, which is Unearthed Arcana, so it's not official content, but she's a Way of Mercy monk. So her whole deal, like, she had nothing, and then they gave her food and taught her how to do stuff, and that's more than she ever got in her entire life. So she dedicated herself completely to it, and bought in 100% to the philosophy that life is suffering.
Right. And
there are two ways that you can help people: by either easing their suffering through healing, or by showing them mercy and killing them, like euthanasia, basically. So her thought is, with every person that she looks at, she's like, how can I ease their suffering? And she just makes a decision, and she feels like her training has guided her to always make the right decision, but she really doesn't know.
Right. And she's stupid.
And she is stupid. Her intelligence score is 9. But I would think that's more of a wisdom type thing anyway.
It actually, so
yeah.
Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a wisdom type thing.
Which isn't good. I mean, it's not awesome. She's like a 14 wisdom, but
did you just roll really bad for her?
Yeah.
Or wait, what's important for a monk?
Dexterity is the big one. Yeah. I rolled a 16 for dexterity. Oh, yeah, you had, I kind of thought about this a little bit too. You had another, I guess we already did your character idea, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that was the last one, huh?
Maybe we'll do
that I had.
One.
So when you're making character names, when you're making place names, when you're making whatever.
Yeah.
My thought is, similar to my other thing from earlier, you want to make it easy to anglicize for your players. Or at least you want to make it sound not terrible when it's anglicized, because that's how they're going to say it, right? Like it actually, for me personally, it feels uncomfortable to switch. Like, it's hard on my mouth muscles. It's hard on my face. To switch languages mid-sentence a bunch of times. It's almost like doing a tongue twister, but just speaking normally.
Yeah.
So my thought is, you should make it easy for your players to anglicize names, which I think that you've done with a lot of yours. Like,
have I?
Yeah. Like Laheyord is easy to say in English.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I think realistic names. George R.R. Martin did a really good job, I think, with Game of Thrones, with Westeros naming things. That it's funny because they're all exactly how you would expect people to name things, because they're all like super obvious names that really sound legit.
Yeah,
like River Run is a place.
Yep.
the river runs through it. Literally is what like why they named it that. Winterfell. It's like the place in the north.
Yep.
Like.
Well, so Frank Herbert, who wrote Dune,
Yeah,
he might get the award for this because
Probably.
it's set in like the far future or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the characters and places and groups and stuff, they have names that just sound like they fit into what we've heard, right?
Mhm.
Like there's the Bene Gesserit. Bene Gesserit, like it sounds really similar to stuff that you've heard. There's Duncan Idaho. His last name is Idaho. All right. His first name is Duncan. That's just, first of all, that's just a normal name.
Yeah.
And his last name's Idaho.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily tell you that much about him. I think actually it kind of might in his case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give it away, but it has to do with potatoes. He uses potatoes in combat. It's kind of a cool thing because they do this like knife fighting stuff. But
Okay.
he uses a potato peeler in one hand and a potato in the other. I'm lying, but it it could be true. Anyway,
it seems plausible. I guess
he uses basically your technique of stuff from languages that people might not have heard, but might have heard one or two words from,
mm-hmm.
as well as things that are just common words
Mm-hmm.
to make everything feel more familiar than it is, because it's really not. You're on a desert world, there's these worms, and then this guy is a god or something, and
Mm-hmm.
Actually he's more like a Jesus. He's like a Jesus
figure.
yeah. However that's related to a god, I'll let you puzzle that one out at home, my theological listeners.
This is a theological podcast.
Welcome to Theology Thursdays. That's a terrible podcast. Let's come up with some really good terrible podcast names.
Theolocast.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
We did it. All right, one entry.
I want to say like something with Jehovah in it because that would be fun. But all I can think of is Jehovah Cast, and that's even stupider. But it's not it's not better stupid. It's just stupid.
Wait, what about a faith-related workout podcast? Jehovah's Fitness.
That's really funny.
I think it's a great idea.
Does it already exist? Guys, look it up and tell me. Look it up. No, you don't have to do this.
Oh, no,
we have people to do that work
for
us.
Yeah, the audience accepted.
Yeah.
Jehovah Fitness podcast. All right.
Oh my God. Well, is that going to be the episode name?
Jehovah's Fitness? I sure hope so.
It sounds like a chain. It sounds like Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what this is. Maybe you're picking up on Frank Herbert's whole naming scheme.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? And now you could just name anything. So you got a good fitness chain going, Jehovah's Fitness.
Jehovah's Fitness.
I could see that fitting into the setting of Snow Crash. It's a sci-fi novel written back in the 70s or 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really funny because some of the stuff technology wise we've surpassed.
Yeah.
Like at one point the main character has a computer all over him and a VR headset. And now you can just have the VR headset.
Yeah, you don't need
right. So like we've surpassed some of the technology in it, but at the same time, the way the world is set up is I think it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
There are still countries, but the big thing is franchises. People franchise out countries like Mr. Lee's Greater Hong Kong.
Okay.
Right? And it's like a city-state. It's a city-state franchise that you could find one of these and you could live in any of the Mr. Lee's Greater Hong Kongs on Earth. Right? And you're allowed to go to any of them when you live in one.
That's hilarious.
And everybody has the same suburban house and lifestyle and all that stuff.
This is great.
Look, and so I love that. Mm-hmm. Because none of it is necessarily like it's really funny, but none of it is played for laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I really love that in D&D settings too, or any
Yeah.
kind of fantasy setting,
Mhm.
where there's just something that's really out there, but it kind of pulls it together.
I have a character idea.
All right, lay it on me.
I've told you about this already, but just pretend like you're hearing it for the first time.
Okay.
Tabaxi,
Tabaxi,
bard.
bard.
I like me a bard.
Mm-hmm.
He once played a gig
A gig.
at a really wealthy guy's house.
Right.
All right. And the wealthy guy, he was like throwing a party, right?
Mhm.
Bunch of guests. You know, this Tabaxi's the drummer, right? He's got the drums, you know. And the guy, wealthy guy, he was like talking trash about their playing.
Mhm.
He was like, "Oh man, I would, you know, I wouldn't wipe the scum off my shoes on
Your music.
on your on your music." Yeah, exactly. And you know, Tabaxi guy gets a little peeved,
Uh-huh.
and
Burns down the house.
doesn't I was gonna say doesn't do anything violent, but maybe like pantses him or something. Like just
Nice.
Yanks down the pants, right? You know, and they didn't have underwear back then, so okay. Anyway, no, they did, I think.
Hey Google, did they have underwear?
I'm not gonna wait for her to answer that, but so. Oh, she doesn't understand. Oh, she found something similar.
Did they wear underwear in
ancient
Greece?
Greece?
No, I'll pass. No thanks.
Yeah, no, we don't need to know that. Okay. Guy gets real mad.
Right.
And he gets in trouble with the law because this guy has connections.
Right.
He's like, "Oh man, you know, shush. I wasn't talking to you, Google." He was like, "Oh man, you know, the wealthy guy goes complains to the law, whatever, he's in trouble, and he greases some palms, and now this guy legally owes him like some ridiculous sum of money, like 10,000 gold pieces, you know, like crazy. And so now his goal is that he wants to go and he has to join an adventuring party because going out and risking his life, you know, is the only way, like getting treasures and things. It's the only way he's going to be able to do it.
Listen.
Yeah.
I just listened to most of Casino Royale. I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
That is the setup for Casino Royale.
Really?
The bad guy's setup.
The bad guy's setup.
Yeah. The first bad guy, at least.
Yeah.
His deal is that he's like a Russian spy, and he like messes up with the money, and he needs to come up with money really fast. The only way he can make it back is by going and gambling. That's why he's at the Casino Royale.
Yeah.
The casino in Royale called Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But he's not a fighter, you know.
No.
He's a musician.
Right. He's a drummer.
He's a drummer.
So he can really beat it with the rest of them.
Yeah.
With the best of them. He can beat it with the best of them.
Yeah. Yes.
But like not beat up people.
No. He
just plays with himself. Like he plays drums himself with himself. He plays.
Yes, I get it. I see where you're going. I know what you're saying.
All right, good.
Okay,
it was really funny.
He negotiates. That's his job is two things. He's support. He buffs and he debuffs, and that's it. Like whoever else is in the party, they'll do the fighting. He's just gonna buff and debuff the crap out of them.
He needs some. Do bards get any temporal abilities like altering time or anything like that?
I
Probably not.
they
It
don't.
sounds like a level 9 wizard spell.
They-
There's stop time.
Yeah.
That would be a time stop.
Time
that
stop
would be a
is-
drummer spell.
Yeah, that would be a drum
Right?
spell.
Like you're playing the drums and then you stop
and then
and everything stops. Right?
Oh yeah, there you go. That's an interesting idea. No, that would be cool. That would be cool. I didn't think that far ahead. But his whole thing is that he, like most D&D campaigns are like people give you jobs to do, like, hey, go clear out this mine shaft of gnolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go do that.
But his story is, I'm looking for a job.
Yeah, he's
pretty much.
Yeah, so he's like, okay, I'll do that, and then he negotiates the price. He's
Right.
like, we'll do it for this much.
Mm-hmm.
But then he also negotiates the cut with the adventuring party.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, I got us more money, so I'm going to take a bigger cut.
Yeah.
Out of this.
And then when he goes up to the other guy, he's like, hey, turns out we're actually going to need more money.
Yeah.
Than what we thought it was going to be.
Right.
This is supplies and stuff.
Right. So and
then he doesn't tell the party about that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
He just keeps that.
Exactly. And then he pockets it. Like his whole thing. He's like the manager of the party. I wanted to create a party manager who's useful in combat but doesn't participate in the actual combat.
Right.
Only supports. But he's like also he's the manager, so he's also like the hype man. So like whenever you go to like get a job, like they're telling you about stuff, you're always like, listen, this guy right here, I watched him cut a gnoll right in half, one strike, with his greatsword. Boom, easy. All right, he did it with his eyes closed. He wasn't even facing the correct direction.
There we go. Now you're selling me.
Yeah.
Now you're okay. I'm interested. What can these other guys do?
All right. That lady over there.
Yeah.
She grabs onto that necklace, says 2 words, you're healed.
Okay, I mean that's cool, but who's she gonna heal?
Everybody.
I don't care about them.
All right. Here, let me lay it on you. You see that
Sure.
guy over there?
Yeah.
All right. That guy. He's kind of crazy, a little bit unhinged.
He does look he looks a little scraggly.
I wouldn't mess with him.
All right.
All right.
Why not?
Well, you see that hammer that he's got?
Sure.
I once saw him go up to one of those hammer games.
Yeah.
Knock the bell right off it.
Oh man, you got me. I'm 100%. That's it. You here. How much money do you want? I don't even have that much, but take it. Take it all.
I'm gonna need a 3 magic items, rare or better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what do you think?
I think it's a fun character idea.
Party manager.
You gotta have the right party for it. You
That's
gotta have
true.
the right party. You have to be able to hype them up. You can't have a party of other bards doing the same role.
Of course not. Yeah, no, you couldn't make. There's some.
Although a party of all bards that is a rock band.
Oh yeah.
Could be a good campaign.
Oh my god, a boy band. That's just Final Fantasy.
This is Final Fantasy 15.
15, yeah, that's what that game is.
Road trip with the boys.
Yeah.
Dude, what about that though? Road trip with the boys. That's your campaign.
Road trip with the boys. Oh, that would be a cool idea.
No, it wouldn't be a good campaign.
No?
What if one of the boys dies? Suddenly a road trip is
it's a bummer.
Toad trip.
Find another boy.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Call up one of your other boys. It could be just like the movie Wild Hogs. You ever see that movie?
No. Should I have seen that movie?
No, absolutely
okay,
not.
good.
It's
okay,
terrible.
that's what I thought. Seeing the advertising for it when I was a kid, I was like, that doesn't look like a movie anyone wants to see.
I've seen it 5 times, probably.
Why?
What'd
you do?
My parents had it on DVD, and
Yeah.
I don't know who was watching it, but somebody was watching it. Like often.
No, you must have done something.
Oh, it was a punishment?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
You had to have done something.
They're not good movies. Not good movie. I don't think there's a sequel. Never mind.
Oh, thank God. I was about to say, like, oh no.
It's not a good movie. No. I'm getting that vibe now from this concept. That's what it's about. This guy works a job that he doesn't like and is like, I think this is the plot. He's like, motorcycle with the boys, road trip across the country. Hilarity ensues. It's not really that funny. But I think that I don't know. I think it sounds like a good campaign. Road trip with the boys.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty great.
Mm-hmm. We could try it after we finish some other campaigns.
Mine's gonna take a few years. Probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely running the Power Ranger RPG.
I'm down.
I don't know if I don't know if it's a full on like multiple session thing, or it might just be like a tabletop. It might be like a board game type deal where it's like a one night, one shot set up and play through the game thing.
Like you don't know what it's supposed to be, or you don't know what
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Well, I don't either. Couldn't tell you. Well,
who's your favorite Power Ranger, guys? Who is it? Tell me who it is.
Steve.
Minecraft Steve?
No. What?
Oh.
No. Just
Steve.
Yeah.
I will check later and we will find out if there's a Power Ranger named Steve. I've been Steve. This is Steve. Thanks for listening.
Steve.
Great. We did it.